The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 6th day of March, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's, I think, Sancha Dorn. Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by people. So I'm guessing you had a very full weekend, Sancha?
I feel like I'm having a hangover and I don't even drink.
I mean, you know, yeah, it was a party weekend. You know, I think, yeah, was it your birthday or Maddox's birthday? Because
Listen, at this point, I feel like I celebrate my birthday during his birthday. So my birthday is in a few weeks, 3 weeks from his, 3 or 4. And we celebrate. Life is for living, right?
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We're living. We're living. Maddox had 3 birthday parties this weekend. So mama's tired.
Well, I mean, look, as long as he had fun, it appreciates the fun he had. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. Good morning to you, Karen Simmons. She says, happy Monday. Happy belated birthday. Hold on. Happy belated birthday to you, Karen, because I think we came across something this weekend. It was your birthday. You got to tell us these, you know what? They're keeping secrets from us. That's what it is. Keeping secrets.
We knew this. We said that we were going to celebrate this morning for Karen and Maddox.
Oh, okay.
So you were just out of the loop.
Oh, okay. So what we doing, Lil? We're gonna sing happy birthday? Birthday to you. Oh, you want a little upbeat? Okay, hold on. Happy birthday to you. All right. There you go. Happy birthday to you, Karen. And everyone in the audience, give us some birthday punches. Come on, give us some birthday punches. Do we still say, how old are you, or we leave that alone?
I think when you get to a certain age, we leave it alone.
We're gonna leave that alone. We won't get nobody in trouble. Tanya Cheeseman, good morning to you as well, and happy Monday. Happy Monday. Well, folks, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we we're gonna discuss the role of an effective opposition before focusing on what kind of foreign investment you'd like to see for Bermuda. The daily play is a who said it. And I noticed something yesterday, Sancha. I noticed something. I don't know if it's by accident or Shanta's just consciously doing this, but all of the guests, I mean, we're only still in 4 shows in March, but all of the guests so far in March that are scheduled or we've had so far have been women. And is it international or history?
I was going to say that's intentional. It's international.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, March 8th is International Women's Day.
Okay, March 8th, and I guess someone said it's Women's History Month. So, yeah, very, very interesting. I didn't pick that up. I was like, oh, it's all women. So, yeah, folks, I guess they do some intentional stuff. And happy number 53 to you, 53. Karen Simmons looking not a day over 21. No, go ahead. Hey, make sure you subscribe to our website and follow us on social media to stay up to date for all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to improve the community. But Sancha, I know weekends can be so short, especially when you're having the kind of fun that you were having, but a lot has happened this weekend while you were out and you were having fun, and now we're back here. But a lot has happened. And Let me just bring you to let's see. I mean, Maya might have brought us up to speed. So let's this isn't what we were going to talk about this morning, but just want to bring this up for some people. So there was an MP, Jason Hayward. I guess he's a minister now, and so I guess he's the honorable. And he put this on. Oh, I see my name there. He put this on Twitter. 60 years ago, visionaries set out a bold agenda to improve the social and economic conditions of working class families in Bermuda by creating a political party. Through grit, determination, and resilience, the PLP remains strong today. The 30 don't need the 6. Well, the responses to this were very interesting. And of course, you can see a response that I put, the PLP remains strong today, but do Bermudians feel that Bermuda is in a strong position, or does that not matter? Senator Douglas Dukudo of the One Bermuda Alliance responded also from that same speech, I don't want your vote. Ask yourself, does the PLP care about you or just political power? And then the Honorable Michael Dunkley, former premier, a member of the One Bermuda Alliance and minister, the MTA speech was better suited for your party caucus and not parliament. The 30 would be wise to bring everyone along, or we will all have a bleak future. Well, I'm going to go through some of the more brutal responses to Jason Hayward, so that you all can get an idea of how Bermuda. So let's go through some of these responses. I'll read some of these other responses. So Jason here, one response just told him to shut up. The young lady just responded, shut up. Another one says, Khalid Wazi would give you a thesis on how this is utter nonsense. Another one says, scary stuff. Another one says, democracy should be respected and nurtured, not reduced to a clever soundbite towards achieving the dream of autocracy. Another one says, those visionaries are rolling in their graves at the way the PLP moves today. Oh, wow. This one, I can't say the words, but PLP remains bleep, us up the bleep, no loop with, well, you get the point. You get the point. I mean,
bleep, bleep.
Yeah. This is not a fun and enjoyable time with you lot at all. And the PLP strong today, LOL, you all are delusional. History is the only reason you are still in power. Another one, why is it such an us versus them mentality? The 30 don't need the 6. What does that even mean? The majority doesn't need the minority. What does that sound like? Then look at your statistics and see who needs help, but wonder why. Look, the question this morning for the discussion was, what is the role of an effective opposition? What is the role? You know what the role of an effective opposition is? Exactly what the PLP are doing. They operate as if they're the opposition. They don't operate as if they're a government. They operate like they're always in election mode trying to win votes. They don't operate as, credit to the Minister of Education, Diallo Rabin, and I guess the government, because he doesn't make decisions. Well, I would hope he doesn't. But he's making decisions, whether we like them or not, that are not popular. That's what politics is. Sometimes you have to make those decisions that are not popular. But also, you still have to listen to the will of the people. And I heard the recording, but see, I'm not like the PLP. I'm not like you all. I'm not like I'm not gonna stoop to your level. So I'm not gonna take a sound bite like you did to me, right? And say, oh, PLP people without contacts. I'm not gonna do that to you. I'm not as stupid as you. Yeah, I called you that. I don't need to. Because what I would do is encourage Bermudians to listen to the entire speech that Jason Hayward gave, rather than taking a sound bite of what he said about voting for him. That's the difference between people who literally act like they don't need you, but beg you for a 6-figure payday they won't get anywhere else, and people who can go out and create industry for themselves. So the question of the morning, what is the role of an effective opposition? People have so many opinions of this. Some people think it's to provide the solutions rather than just complain. Some people think it's pretty much just to oppose. What is an effective opposition? What does it look like? Is the One Bermuda Alliance being good enough as an opposition? I mean, the PLP seems like it's governing and opposing its own governance at this point. I don't know, Sandra. I don't know.
I'm disappointed in that whole, well, the speech, the comment, all of it. I'm totally disappointed. And I think that when you feel as if you don't need an opposition, that's a problem as well. Everything that all the decisions that they are making, they can't feel as if we are perfect. No one's perfect. No group is perfect. Nothing is perfect. And you need an opposition to oppose and to shed a different view, a different light, a different, and if we don't have an effective opposition, it's not good. And at this point, we're in a, I mean, quite frankly, those are like the cockiest statements I think I've ever seen. And when you become like, just it's all self-centered and as cocky as that, and I'm disappointed and I am concerned for our future, just like everyone else, in those responding to Minister Hayward at this point. I think the PLP needs to rein him in. And
how can they rein him in when the majority of them act like that, think like that? These are folks who literally use the Black movement to gain political power, right? And I'm very honest in terms of my perspective with this. I do blame the OBA for what we are experiencing right now. I blame the Michael Fays. I blame the way that some of those under Michael Dunkless administration acted. I blame how they treated Craig Kennener. This is why we have that. You cannot say you're a new party, you get in power, right? And then within a few months, right, just over a year actually, your whole cabinet is full of UBP people. You're saying you're a different brand, right? You lose trust of the people. It's not like the PLP is what the people want. They just know what they don't want. This monster was legit created by the lies, deceit, the disrespect of the electorate of the OBA. Let's not ignore that. And now this is on the people of Bermuda, because to me, an effective opposition, it needs more than the 6.
But do you feel as if you look at it, the exactly what voted the PLP and the behavior of the OBA is the PLP operating in the same manner at this point, but we just have nothing else to vote for?
Well, no, here's the thing. And I said this when the OBA was in power. You can't, Michael Fay is a white Bermudian man, right? He was a white Bermudian man that people started saying he's not Bermudian, he's Canadian. People start comparing him in circles to the way Colonel Birch carried on. The difference is Black people were willing to take from a Colonel Birch and Black politicians what they wouldn't take from a white Bermudian guy who they deem Canadian, right? So therefore, the OBA couldn't afford to act like the PLP acted. You had to act different. You had to, be a bit more, personable and not be as arrogant and cocky. You think if a Michael Fay or Jeff Barron made those comments that Jason Hayward made, you don't think they'd be preparing for a parade this week?
What? It would be on and popping.
My point exactly. And what bothers me about it, what really bothers me about it, is the fact that they thought they could do that. No. And I'm not saying that the people are right, because I think you're just as silly. At the end of the day, if a white man steals $100 from me and slaps me in my face, if a Black man steals $100 from me and slaps me in my face, I still lost $100 and I'm got a bruise on my face. Now, I know people will say, but this is historical context. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the circumstance at the time, right? I'm still out $100 and I'm still got a bruised face. The bottom line is we have got to figure out, and to your comment, nobody voted the PLP in. That's the other joke. Nobody voted you in. Nobody gave you a mandate of 30 people. People voted out the OBA, and then people refused to vote for them during a pandemic called election. Let's not act like we speak about this all the time. Elections are not won, they're lost. They're lost. But at some point, Manchester United got embarrassed yesterday by Liverpool. Let's give this example. 7-0, like humiliated. And I loved every minute of it. And I'll tell you why I loved it. Because getting a bit too big, what was that term? Big for their bridges or something like that?
Your bridges.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they were, right? And they needed a humbling. They needed a humbling. We all need it every now and then, right?
Mhm.
And that humbling couldn't have come from a better opponent, their biggest rival, who they're ahead of in the standings. The Progressive Labour Party had what we thought was a humbling in 2012, Sancha.
Mhm.
They had a humbling in 2012, we thought. But I think under David Burt as premier, they have more arrogance and cockiness, 30 seats, than ever before. And to the question, what is the role of an effective opposition? You see his cheerleaders out here talking about, oh, the opposition just complains, doesn't bring solutions, da 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 da. Well, at the end of the day, why would we expect them to bring? Why are one group of MPs saying, where's the solutions? And then another group, well, Colonel Birch was quoted as saying, they're not going to listen to them anyway, or something like that. So what is it? I think we have one of the most ignorant governments as a group that we've ever had. And that's just me. And I said it on this show. I've been very honest. There are certain ministers that I have nothing but respect for in their positions. You all may disagree. But I actually have no problem with them. And then there's others, and you're just like, interesting. What does this person bring? How will they help and improve Bermuda? Well, they're not doing it by making comments that were tweeted by the Minister of Economy and Labor, if that's his title these days. Shana Smith says, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That sums up my feelings. Paula J says, I've always thought an effective opposition should be the last line of defense to hold the government accountable on behalf of the people. But apparently holding them to account, Paula J, is just complaining. You know, when I was a child growing up, PLP was very effective as an opposition. The PLP was effective because they got people up, they got the unions involved, they were out, they were about, there was an energy. The trust that was broken between 2012 and 2017, I mean, the energy is gone. People would rather up and leave Bermuda than to stay and fight the government. I don't know. I mean, an effective opposition needs more than the people elected and appointed. It needs Bermudians. It needs all of Bermuda. We can't rely on 6 people in the House of Assembly and another 3 senators to do the work and the will of the people. We're going to speak about after the news break. Sandra, there was a report that the premier had a little trip to the United Arab Emirates. So we want to ask you about foreign investment. Are you comfortable with foreign investment from different places in the world? Let's bring Maya in and see what she's got for her news break. And I don't know, folks. Let us know your thoughts. You're good with the way your government's running? I mean, the comments being made, you can go listen to the entire motion to adjourn. Like I said, I'll quote what Jason here would put on his Twitter account, but I don't really want to share the audio because at the end of the day, I think that the PLP, they operate on a childish mandate. Like the way they operate is just childlike, and I don't believe in taking little snippets and playing audio. Well, I don't believe in it today. I may feel different tomorrow. Yeah, I may feel very different tomorrow. But as of today, I'm just not on the PLP's level with that. But I'd encourage you to go listen to the motion to adjourn, so that you can have some context behind whatever it is that point that Jason here, with the Minister of Economy and Labor, was trying to make. What I will say is, not long ago, many folks that are operating as your ministers and MPs were crying about being sued by the government and marching every 2 seconds for the very things they're ignoring today. Again, there's a lot of parties responsible, including us, because at the end of the day, well, not me, they took me off the registry. You all's votes do make a difference, but it's, like I always say, it's beyond the vote. What happens after the election? Let's go to comments real quickly. Karen Simmons says, opposition should be able to review and hold the government accountable and create other viable solutions from government. Rashida Godwin says, it's all in a history that we are not willing to be honest about. Black politicians only like to utilize history enough to get them elected. After that, they're cool being the oppressor. Let's be honest. They're fine with being the oppressor after that. News break time. Let's bring in Maya.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm loving that red blazer.
Thank you, Sandra.
Yeah, greetings. How's the sister doing?
Doing well. Definitely a lot to take in this morning, for sure. I actually want to mention, because I think you mentioned spoiled ballots a bit. Well, I had the numbers here for the 2020 election, that there were 152 rejected ballots and 68 spoiled ballots for the 2020 general election, which was actually the highest we've ever had. There was none in 2017, but I also could have just been like, they didn't really put that record in, but it was still, there were only the highest one on record that we've ever had.
And I don't remember off the top of my head, but voter turnout was one of the highest as well, if I remember correctly.
It was 25,763 total votes counted for 2020.
Charles says, Charles H. Jefferson II says, those currently with political power don't have economic power. Yeah, and we've been through this. I mean, you cannot have any sort of power without economic power. Political power, you still need those who run the economy. And I think that's the biggest problem with the PLP. I tell you what Black people should fear the most. What you should fear the most is Black people without any economic power gaining political power. That's not a good thing. If you see Black people getting politically involved without any sort of economic power, oh, you better be very, very wary, because it may not look good for any economy that they oversee. Bermuda needs economic investment. One would think the Minister of Economy and Labor would know that we need everyone. No, Charles. They know, they have all the answers. Trust me. They don't need the 6. They don't need those who don't vote for them. They don't need anybody. I'll ask the Minister of Economy and Labor what kind of economy or what kind of business he's ever run successfully. I'm sure he's got a long list. It's a Christmas list, I'm sure, Charles. Sorry, Maya, you've got the news break, don't you?
Good morning, everyone. This is the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Starting out this morning, sadly, there were some collisions that happened on Friday last past. So there were 2 reports of vehicle collisions on Friday, one being a multiple accident scene in the Harbor Road area that the police were dealing with due to what they say is be the wet roads and careless driving. The other was reported just moments before on Friday, March 3rd at 1:15 p.m. with a 2-vehicle collision on Middle Road Paget near the entrance of Tanglewood Road involving 2 motor cars. Early information suggests both vehicles were traveling in opposite directions when an unknown motorcycle headed in the westerly direction overtook the car in the westbound lane, causing the car traveling in the eastbound lane to take evasive action and strike a wall before colliding with the car in the westbound lane. A female senior citizen has been taken to the hospital and was treated for injuries not known to police at the time.
Isn't it me?
To slow down. Like, I'm on the road every day, and when they overtake me, this is how I know I'm getting ill. I'm like, if these children don't slow down.
But it's real. Like I mean, again, I was saying this seriously, not to be a joke, but when I'm in Bermuda operating any vehicle, I go slow, and again, no jokes. I know you all think I drive like grandpa, but I go slow simply because the roads aren't even. There's potholes everywhere, and so when I see someone riding crazy and overtaking, like pulling out right in front of you without looking as if they'll slow down, it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I actually feel slightly bad. The other day, I was in the car with my friend, and we saw this 50cc bike being just driving very stupid. He was driving very stupid alongside other 50cc's. He was trying to pop wheelies, and then he was like overtaking cars and trying to drive beside another 50 and like on the other side of the road. I'm like losing my mind, like getting very angry. And so he like speeds off, but I see one of them and I tell my friend, you know what, I want to follow one of them, please. Because she was driving in the car. She was like, Maya, I was like, I'm sorry. And so I followed one till they pulled over, and I just had a conversation with her because I was like, I don't know if you know that boy or not, but like, do not allow someone that's driving like that to drive beside you. I'm glad that you pulled over. And I kind of gave her, I guess, an auntie spiel because I was so pissed off about it. I was like, I can't believe this young boy is riding beside her like that. So reckless. And I'm so glad that she was okay and the other ones were okay. But I do apologize for the way that I went at it because I was so mad. I was like, your life can be in danger. His life is obviously in danger. It feels like he doesn't care about you or himself.
I know this is serious, but my adjustment, auntie on us, and I love it. No, because remember what they used to say, it takes a village. That's that village in you. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about, because we don't want to see them scraping up any more butters.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, in more heartfelt news though, Bermudians at Westgate facility started collecting their harvest from a garden that they have recently made. Here's an image right here for you guys to see, and the names of those are right below there. But it's really good to see the Minister of National Security, Michael Weeks, says it follows the news that 8 men serving time at Westgate Correctional Facilities are thriving in a voluntary program to certify them in sustainable farming. It is being taught by Mr. Christopher Ferreira, the founder and managing director of the Agri Living Institute. During the weekly course, which began last October, the all-male group learned how to use sustainable farming methods to grow various food crops, including grains. The classes are taught mainly using hands-on learning methods and focus on growing healthy soil, the preparation of a garden, transplanting and sowing seeds, watering, gardening maintenance, and composting the garden planning. Graduates of this curriculum will be able to use these skills to grow their food, find job opportunities in the growing field to start their own business growing and selling market vegetables.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I must say, I love everything about what Chris Fair, like what they do. I just hope that it inspires people outside the gates as well. That folks, this is a solution to a lot of our problems. What's happening there? So I like that example.
Yeah, teaching them to be self-sufficient is definitely a trait that everyone should know.
Yeah.
Up next, some update on education. Now, you may have tapped into my live that happened on Friday. So here's some updates as to what's going on in education in Bermuda. So we all know that Clearwater Middle School and Heron Bay will be closing as of June 2023. The minister also stated the number of students in each school there, Clearwater being quite low at 71, when the average at the other middle schools are like 225. Consultations for each staff member will also be happening, as well as consultations with the parents and students as to what school they would likely be going to, whether it be Whitney Institute or Sands or even Dalwood. Lastly, coming up next, our government will also be assisting parents with the uniforms, like the cost of the uniforms for transferring of the students. They haven't put an exact number on that yet, but it will be coming out shortly. And government also hopes to have the selected transfers completed by the end of March. So we are kind of on crunch time right now for that. And a report that will be coming out in the next coming weeks, says the Minister Diallo Rebane, is showing a timeline of when each school will be closing and opening as a signature school, depending. And Clearwater Middle School will be becoming a signature school as well. So those are some key points that were now coming out of the conversation that I had with the minister. This whole discussion is still up on Media Maya on my Instagram, so you guys can obviously watch the entire thing there as well.
I watched it and I was not happy with his response to my question. I'm still not happy with it because, I actually don't mind Minister Rebane. I think, he's been the education minister, probably one of the longest we've had in my lifetime, right?
Yes.
He's got a task. He's got a task. And I think that I would not want to be in his position. But what is wrong with you politicians, man? Like when people look, we don't need you. Let's be clear. The people don't need you the way you need them. Stop with the arrogance. And I'm speaking directly to this minister. I literally would say that to you if you want to show. Stop it. When people are asking you direct questions, answer directly and give a full answer. Because if an election were called, you would do it. Stop it. I literally asked during that conversation, what's the final decision with West End? Your response, oh, the final decision was made. Okay. Well, what was the final decision then? Say it now. Don't make people go look for it, because if it was an election, you would not do that. What's in the heads of you politicians where you think without any economic power, you can treat people that you need the electorate any way you want? Have you not learned from 2012? It can all be taken away from you just like that with the slide. Oh, hold up. Go listen to the motion to adjourn by Jason Hayward. What else you got for us, Maya?
Well, coming up next, I know we're going to be talking about this very soon, but Investopia, envisioning opportunities in times of change, bringing together global leaders and change agents to engage in the latest thinking on the global investment ecosystem and opportunities lying ahead. That's what's said on the Investopia website in Abu Dhabi for 2023. Now, Premier David Burt was invited and was a guest speaker among 14 other leaders and pioneers in the field in the future in areas such as technology, government, finance, engineering, sustainability, and more, according again to the website. Here's the image here of the Premier there at the station. Accompanying the Premier and the Minister of Finance on this trip was Mr. Barclay Simmons, Chairman of the Bermuda Public Funds Investment Committee. On the second day of the two-day conference, the Premier delivered a keynote speech entitled Bermuda, the Jewel of the Atlantic, where he spoke of his desire to strengthen ties between Bermuda and the UAE while highlighting the similarities between the two jurisdictions. Premier David Burt said it was an honor to be invited to Investopia 2023 by the UAE Minister of the Economy, His Excellency Abdullah bin Tu Al Maui, and to share Bermuda's story with leaders and regions, as well as to highlight the many similarities between our countries. The conference has been beneficial to raising the profile of investment opportunities in Bermuda from this region, whether it is insurance, renewable energy, hospitality, or infrastructure. I look forward to deepening the relationship between the UAE and Bermuda.
We're going to talk about that, folks. What are your thoughts on foreign investment like that for Bermuda? Let us know your thoughts. We're going to get to that after the news break. What else you got for us, Maya?
Well, in relation to that, and also the last conversation that the Commissioner had with Jamal about petty requests and finding out what's going on and keeping your government accountable, here's just a quick step point. Look at your screen if you can right now, if you're only listening. But this is how to get to this is how you get to ICO.bm. Just go on ICO.bm, you go for the public, and you go to the public authorities list. So let's say you want to get some information on what that meeting was that the Premier just had out there in Investopia. After you click on the authorities list, it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. And you want to go to the Ministry of Finance, that highlighted red one there, to find out who you should be sending this information to ask questions about this trip in Investopia. It has to do with Ministry of Finance. So you click on Ministry of Finance. And then you find who was there with him, Mr. Barclay Simmons, the chairman of Public Funds Investment Committee. That's where you want to look at, Public Funds Investment Committee. There's the email right there that you should be sending all the information to. And here's what it'll sort of look like down here. Once you click that, it gives you the information there. And I put a little side note just at the bottom there to show you what it'll look like. I have my email there. My subject line is "This is being sent under the Petty Act." And then I'll type in my question there, whether it be, I would like to know how much money it costs for the Premier to go to this, or was it fully funded by them, or even the minutes or the notes that happened in this meeting. You could definitely ask that as well in the petty request too, if you are so keen to want to do that.
Thank you for that, Maya. Folks, hey, share information. There are ways to find out. Go check it out.
And closing up with two things in sports. Number one being that the field hockey team is actually going to be playing a team from New York who is coming to Bermuda. So it's going to be called Bermuda Onions versus the Apples. The tournament is going to be Friday, March 10th, also to Sunday the 12th. So you got some days there where you can come and watch the team. This is going to be the team that is still competing to go into the CAC. So they did make it to the CAC. So now they are still warming up and training. So this is going to be a pretty high intensity match for them, playing from a team from New York City. So we wish them well in that, of course. And lastly, in the news for today, we have the Magic Mile that happened. And I had a couple of clips so you guys can see the awesome races that went down with the kids. So here's a cute little clip so you guys can watch if you didn't get to go.
That was cute.
It was very cute and a huge turnout. There was so many cars parked everywhere in the Arboretum as well. It was packed. It was great to see the community out there just like celebrating each other. So that was awesome.
Was the tall person running next to him like the pacer?
Yes, there was one at the front and then one at the end as well.
Man, that was awesome. Props to Skyport for backing that and all the participants. I really enjoyed the parents on the side with their phones videoing it and all. Make sure you make some fun videos over the years of them participating in those things. Sanchez Maddox participated before?
I get upset because it's every year his birthday weekend. And yeah, so next year I'm going to plan better because he wants to compete.
Well, we know that. That's what I'm saying. Mr. Competitive.
Maddox is a runner.
Yeah, he wants to be in that. What? How's the weather looking today, Maya?
The weather's looking like it's going to be a chance of some showers. Go ahead, Sancha, go. But it's going to be some sun, but a huge chance of showers, definitely, unfortunately. And some strong gusts possibly later in the day. And it's going to be a high of 67 degrees Fahrenheit. So not looking like the best Bermuda day.
All right, well. What days of the year? What you got for us, Sancha? Something good?
Today is Hospitality Workers in Healthcare Day. Hospitality Workers in Healthcare Day does exactly what it says. It gives us the opportunity to pay our respects to the hospitality workers in healthcare sector. These dedicated workers put in a lot of time and effort day in and day out, and they do not often get recognized. So we think that it's a great time here and now, as this date enables us to give them all the respect and love that they deserve.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been down to the hospital, the ladies that come around and give you your menus and, give you your food, and they're always so sweet. So sweet.
Give them some props, folks. Show them some love.
The orderlies are cleaning up and
dealing with a lot.
It's a tough job. So today we recognize it.
Show them some love, folks. Show them some love. Maya, thank you so much. We'll see you again tomorrow. I'll probably be on like 2 hours sleep. So if you all thought I was grumpy this morning, watch tomorrow morning. Oh boy. See you tomorrow.
It gets worse.
Oh wow.
Bye guys. Have a good day.
All right, folks. Traveling Shawty says Magic Mile is an awesome community event. Yes, it indeed. Props again to
it's run by Pacers, right? Pacers has been around. Mr. Simons has been around forever.
You used to do it? You used to run Pacers?
Fun, I always give these little tidbits. I transferred from Pedro Primary to West End when I went into P5. Never knew I was a runner until Mr. Simons took hold of me. And I became a long distance runner. And to today, I still can run based on, Cal.
All right, look ahead. Now, got a little runner on the show. Everybody's a runner on the show but me. But folks, we're going to take a quick break. Come back. We're going to talk about that investment, foreign investment. How do you feel about foreign investment? Interesting time because Bermuda, I think we'd all agree, needs investment, and we have to be unique in how we approach it because it's a very competitive world out there. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Show. Sancha Durham, I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Make sure you subscribe to our website and follow us on social media to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to improve our community. We're going to go straight into it. Maya mentioned that the Premier attended in, what's it called, Investopedia in the United Arab Emirates. I'm reading from the Gazette. The Royal Gazette says, David Brett, the Premier, wants to strengthen ties between Bermuda and the United Arab Emirates, he told an investment conference in the Gulf state yesterday. Mr. Brett was delivering a keynote speech during the second day of his Investopedia 2023 in Abu Dhabi, which he attended at the invitation of Abdullah bin Turk Al Mari, the Minister of Economy for UAE. He said it was an honor to be invited to Investopia 2023 and to share Bermuda's story with leaders in the region, as well as to highlight the many similarities between our countries. Quick question. So let's just give some context, Sancha. So Manchester United right now is for sale, and one of the big bidders is coming from the Qatar, right? Another Gulf state. And there's a lot of people out there, oh, Qatar, this, Qatar, that, it's bad. It's, the laws that they have and so on. Look, Qatar investing outside of Qatar is not unique. Saudi Arabia, it's not unique. The UAE, it's not unique, right? They probably, the car that you drive have investments in that. The gas you put in that car, the groceries, the handbags, all of that stuff, right? But it's always interesting how people react. But that brings us to Bermuda. I've been thought that we should look beyond North America and Western Europe for investment into Bermuda. Just want to know, like, how do Bermudians feel? How do you feel about Bermuda? And this is not to say that we're going to get investment, but as the Premier said, I actually agree that Bermuda needs to strengthen ties with, other areas of the world. But what are your thoughts? We saw what happened with Qatar in the World Cup. A lot of people didn't agree with it. They didn't like the laws there and so on. But what are your thoughts? Do you think this is the route Bermuda should be going down? Do you, as Maya put, do you need more information? Do you need to file a patty request to know more? What are your thoughts on it? But that's the question. That's the fact question now. Where and how should Bermuda seek foreign investment? Sancha's ready.
You know what I thought about as even when Maya said it, I was thinking to myself, have you seen those memes where like girls go out and they have on like lashes and their hair looks nice and like this girl is like so beautiful, and then when you get to really see her and she takes all that off and you're like, what just happened? I feel like that's how people are gonna feel about Bermuda. It's like we need to clean up home before we start going out to say, hey, come invest in us, right? Because we're gonna get in these situations where it's like, we're so great, we're so amazing, look at us, come and invest. And then it's almost like we put on these filters. Like we're filtering ourselves and then take that filter off once you get here, and here we are.
So you think so? Let me just make sure I'm understanding. So, Sancha, are you saying that before we go to seek foreign investment, we need to clean our act so that we actually look attractive to foreign investors? Are you saying?
To a certain degree. Like obviously we have to get out there. We need investments in order to help grow and all of that stuff. But we also need to tighten up. That makes sense, right?
I get you, but remember when we had Billy Griffith on and he said that, you know, because I get your point, but he is like, no, Bermuda doesn't need to create this product and so on. They need to be out there marketing while they're doing it. You know what I'm? Remember when he said that? So I'm like, but I wonder if it's true, because if you put enough time into creating value, and then you go and sell, I mean, it probably makes more sense. But at the same time,
we need to be out there selling.
Right.
Like we need to be out there selling. But I guess my point is like, we don't need to be surprising anybody. So let's make sure that we have it together.
Sam Cat agrees with you. She says Sencha nailed it. I actually get Sencha. It's a very valid point. It's a valid point. I'm just not sure. I feel like, I don't know. You've hurt my brain now, Sencha. No, because it's like I agree with you, but at the same time, I'm like, Bermuda needs some.
Yeah. What do you do about it, right?
Yeah. What are your thoughts, audience? Where and how should Bermuda seek foreign investment? Carla J says the airport is an example of foreign investment that did not go over well. I mean, she's not lying there.
But I mean, we at this point we have no choice. Like we can't knock it down. We have to have foreign investment in order to help us at this point to grow. And like, what are we going to do? It's a necessity at this point.
But are we at a point where we're so desperate that any investment, like we'll take any investment?
Yeah, that was my other point. Not all investment is good investment, right? So we're heading to that side of the world. Let's make sure we know what we're getting into.
Yeah, and I think people bring up different islands all the time, saying, I saw an argument between Black American and Black Jamaican on Twitter this weekend, and it's all this ADOS FBA stuff, and they go at it, and this ridiculous guy calls Oxtail Twitter versus whatever Black Twitter, they claim it, and I'm just reading the back and forth, and this guy had the audacity to say, the guy from the U.S. called Jamaica. He said that's why China earns you, and the guy from Jamaica says, and you're earned by Russia. So what's the difference? I think what I saw, the underlying factor in that is the fact that two Black people were arguing over needing investment from people who were not like them. You get what I'm saying? And I'm just, my hope is that when we look at investment, we're looking at so much more than just now. That is long term, that this investment is going to benefit the country. Because let's say these countries are buying up land in other spaces to building industry. You want to hope that the locals benefit somehow. You want to hope that the locals are part of the building process. They're part of the long-term strategy and plans in place. And that when we look at these partnerships and we look at, strengthening ties, maybe it means that Bermudians will get the opportunity to work in that space as well and grow in those spaces, and vice versa. Like that to me is what I think of when I'm talking about strengthening ties and partnerships. As far as investment, the thing about investment is people forget this little part. And I'm going to go to Carla J's point, what she said when she said the airport is an example of foreign investment that did not go well. Well, what does investment mean? Investment means that someone wants a return, right?
Exactly.
I think we forget that part. Investment means that if someone's giving you $5, they're looking for a return on that $5, folks. So we need to ensure that if we're welcoming people here, that it's going to mean that not only is it helping our economy in the short and long, but that they're not just going to neglect it because they don't see any point. Because that can happen. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, my question with foreign investment, will it cause the foreign investment that we already have to walk away from the island? Oh boy. I met with the CEO back in December. And basically, one of the points they made is, we're all for, new industries and so on, as long as it doesn't damage the reputation of Bermuda as is. That's a very valid question, Mark Arthur C. Phillips. Rosalind Famous, she says, I'm very wary of foreign investment from current experience in Puerto Rico. Without very strict regulation, it could very easily be disastrous for the people of a country. Gentrification, displacement, philosophy of trickle-down economics. It could very easily be another form of colonization. Oh, yes. Thank you, Rosalind. Well, let's also keep in mind, remember that term that the Premier David Brett was using leading up to the 2017 election. He said, instead of trickle-down economics, we, the PLP, will be focusing on ripple economics. Well, you haven't heard that term since. You haven't heard that term since. Maybe a pipe dream. But she makes very good points. Gentrification is not anything to be excited about for the majority of the people in a community. Neither is displacement. Yes, some may benefit, but is it beneficial for the entire community? So thank you for that, Rosalind. Carla J says, I see your point, Mark Arthur, but I'm worried about foreign investment causing Bermudians to walk away from the island because they can't afford to stay. What are your thoughts, folks? Where and how should Bermuda seek foreign investment? Should we seek foreign investment? What does foreign investment look like? I don't know, Sancha. This is an interesting one.
It's so many different points. It's so many different levels to it. It's so many different ways to look at it. And the audience comments have definitely shed light on that. Like so many different ways you can look at it.
Yeah. I say this, that I think I would love to see where this goes. I think that the government definitely has to look far beyond. If I'm not mistaken, I believe back in the day, Dr. Ewart Brown tried to go as far as China. I could be wrong, but if my memory serves me correctly, I believe he did try to go that route. There's a lot of opportunities beyond the spaces we live in. I think people have been screaming for partnerships with different African countries like Ghana for years as well. So yeah, we know Bermuda has some challenges right now, Sancha.
Yeah,
we know that, and I think at this point we need, as Sancha you're always saying, we need the right people in the rooms, right? I think Barclay Simmons was named in Maya's report. That's a good way to start.
That made me feel good. I was like, okay, so Barclay's there, so we're okay.
That's a good start. I mean, again, this is not politics to me. Folks, it's not politics to me when we're talking about Bermuda's economy. I really, really, it saddens me when I'm speaking to a Bermudian who's in Florida and they're like, man, there's so much development happening up and down this state. And it's a lot. It's a lot, right? And you just don't see that kind of activity in Bermuda. No development. People are asking, how has Bermuda recovered from the pandemic, COVID? And I'm just like, I don't think you can say Bermuda's recovered if the biggest hotel property they had shut down during COVID and has yet to reopen. That to me is a key point right there.
Yeah.
You know, that hotel was for an investment, but how much do you give up? Charles H. Jeffers II, he says, exactly, Jamel, we need investment that is going to strengthen the country by filling a need. For instance, the announced plans for Morgan's Point don't seem to be filling a need. Yeah. Seems
I'm
like
hoping just smoke. You know, they just blow smoke. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Just a dream that never turns into anything. Makes no sense to me. But
yeah.
anyway.
Michael Daniels says, will this create competition for investment? At the end of the day, when you create something that everyone wants a piece of, that's when you get the opportunity to choose what you want. But when you're in a position where you're almost desperate, sometimes you go to the first bidder, not necessarily the highest bidder, right? So Bermuda's in a tough position, folks, in a very tough position. I don't have the answers. This is not my area of expertise, as most areas aren't. But we have some challenges. We have a government that thinks that as a political party, they are the strongest they've ever been. We have a government that just honestly operates without being held to account. Bermuda needs some sort of economic boost that many just don't feel is coming. And unless the people of Bermuda have the courage to really push back, I'm not quite sure things are going to change for Bermuda and Bermudians. And we deserve better. And this is not scaremongering. At the end of the day, and behind closed doors, there are a lot of intelligent people saying this stuff. Folks, just go back and read the comments from the budget breakfast. This is not the media just making things up. This is coming up. Jason Hayward had the audacity to put what we spoke about on his Twitter account. Is he going to blame Twitter for actually allowing him to tweet it? Because to put it on the media. We're going to take a quick break. Folks, if you appreciated today's discussion and conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share it. Quick break. We'll come back, wrap it up, daily play, and give you an inspirational quote to send you on your way.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All right. Thanks again for tuning in. Sancha Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. Folks, thanks again to One Communications, People's Pharmacy, Medical House, and Lindos for ensuring we're able to have these conversations. Again, if you appreciated today's discussion and conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share these conversations with your friends, your family, around the water cooler. Have these conversations. This is your community. It's your country. It's not going to get better if we just sit by and wait on someone to do it for us. Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sancha, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. It's Who Said It Today. All right. Quote, we have a shared destiny, a shared responsibility to save the world from those who attempt to destroy it. End quote. Wife of a former president.
Michelle Obama? Yeah. Hillary Clinton. No, you said wife of a former say that again. Wife of a what?
Former president.
Former president.
You know, it was wife of a former president last week. It was Michelle Obama. And Rosalind Famous actually said it. It was Winnie Mandela, wife of, ex-wife of former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela. She said, "We have a shared destiny, a shared responsibility to save the world from those who attempt to destroy it." And let that be a message, folks. That's not your daily inspiration, but we do have a shared responsibility to hold our government accountable, no matter what their race is, their economic background. We have a shared responsibility to ensure that they govern in a manner that is in the best interest of you, but mostly society's most vulnerable citizens. Sancha, you've got any final thoughts on this morning's discussion and daily focus?
I've enjoyed this morning's discussion. It's another time for us to sit back and reflect on what we deserve, and people are going to treat us the way we kind of allow them to. And I think we have to keep that in mind as Bermudians. You say it all the time, Jamal, if this was the other opposition governing, we would be marching, we would not accept it. It would be a huge uproar. Just because someone looks like you, or you feel as if, you've been taught you should vote for this party and accept everything that they give you, it doesn't make it right. And we need to start setting up as a people. And I know, like I said, I'm not happy that I have someone that is leading us with this cocky talk going on. I'm not okay with it. As far as our investments, yes, we have no choice. The position that we are in, we have to go out and seek foreign investments. But I also do think that we need to make sure at home is we're in a good space, like clean up home as well, and we are in a desperate space, but let's not operate in a desperate manner, if that makes sense. Like, let's not just...
I found an analogy. If you're trying to sell your car, at least go to the car wash before you take it to the person. Yeah. In its worst state. But no, as far as the early part, we have to expect better. And the question about the role of an effective opposition, it is to oppose. But I think it's time for us to understand that part of the opposition is not just those elected, it's us, the people. We decide who's government, whether we vote or not. We decide who the government is. And we need to be more courageous in holding people who are there because of us responsible and accountable for their actions. As far as foreign investment, like I just said, I get you, Sanchez. Like, we have to put our best foot forward. We have to put our best foot forward. And so I'd like more information on, what kind of foreign investment they're looking for, what's the short and long-term strategies, and who are the people in the room that are, helping to make these decisions. And again, Maya showed you how to seek that information. You got some daily inspiration for us?
I do. Learn to embrace your own unique beauty. Celebrate your unique gifts with confidence. Your imperfections are actually a gift. And that's by Kerry Washington.
All right. Thank you for that, Sandra. Folks, again, if you appreciated today's conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you subscribe to our website and follow us on social media to stay up to date for all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to improve the community. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sancha Durham. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.